Hi again, time for some more tactics training, and this is one of the best things you guys can do to improve your vision and generally improve your strength, because obviously, as you saw from the personality test, chess is 99% tactics. Well, I mean, it's a lot. Tactics is a major thing. So, as I said in previous videos, do practice them. Get a puzzle book, get on chess.com, do what I'm doing here, and just try to do like 10 minutes a day, and that will really help you. So what I'm going to do today, I haven't got any rules made up because I've been a lazy sod. Look at my last video if you want some rules, can't be asked to do it again. But I'm going to go through some tactics without a timer, and I'm going to do them nice and slowly, not as quickly as I might do normally. And I'm going to try to explain again my thought processes when I'm trying to solve the tactics, what I'm thinking, and try to verbalize everything I'm doing. So you guys maybe can try to learn from what's going through my head. Try to think like a Grandmaster kind of thing. Don't know if you want to think like me. It could be a bit scary getting into my brain, but let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, so you can see over here. Let me just move this thing a little bit. I've got my stats up there. I have failed a couple of tactics, as you can see, too, which was a bit disappointing, and we'll start with the first one now. Okay, so black to play, and D takes C6 has been played. Now, a couple of things spring to mind here. First of all, the back rank. White's king, because his lack of development, and you've got to notice when your opponent is lacking development, his back rank becomes very bad, especially with my queen here. It looks like a transvestite variation. So I could go queen e1 check immediately, forcing king g2. Do I have a good follow-up? Remember to look at the forcing moves first, so I'm looking at checks first. King g2, can't see anything particularly obvious there. So I'm now thinking, how can I stop king g2? And obviously developing a piece, going bishop h3 is the move I'm going to be mainly considering now. And if I play bishop h3, I've now got to think of my opponent's best defences. And this is one thing that a lot of players fail to do. Always search for your opponent's best defences as much as you search for your own moves. Now, if I go bishop here, I don't think he has any good checks. All the queen checks around my king, I will take his queen. Pawn check, I can even move my king. He only has one decent-ish check, queen d4 check. But then my king will go to c8. Does he have a follow-up check? No, because he's only attacking with his queen. I'm covering all the light squares. Can his queen defend against the checkmate? No. If he goes there free, it's still checkmate. So I think this move here is fairly straightforward. So, okay, he's thrown the check in. And I don't want to move my king into a position where he can check me again. So I've got to find a safe square here. And I realised earlier that c8 is a safe square. Okay, he's played this check, but that's desperation because, of course, now I'm going to be a queen up. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, this looks like a juicy kind of position. Nice and juicy, lads. Nice and juicy. So we've got a bit of H-file Harry action going here with the queen and rook. And there's a couple of moves, candidate moves that are springing to mind. And, of course, like I've said in the past, you pick one move and don't look at anything else. But the moves I'll just say that are throwing into my brain at the moment is g6, because I want to threaten the opening of the g-file, and bishop e5. These two moves immediately, I'm sure one of these moves is the killer move. Let's start with the move bishop e5. Bishop e5, because that threatens queen g7 checkmate. I haven't got any good checks or captures here, so I want to create a threat and bust his king open. So if I can create checkmate, you can't get a bigger threat than that. So bishop e5, threatening queen g7. Now, how does he defend against that? Well, he can't take on g5. It's checkmate. Can he go bishop f8? Can he play bishop f8 there? Because f6 looks very bad, because I would just take that and bring another piece into the attack. So bishop e5, bishop f8. And if I can't see a good move there, I will move on to my second candidate move, g6. So bishop e5, bishop f8. I'm looking at some stuff like g6, bishop takes queen, pawn takes knight. Don't believe it. I don't think. No, because he's always got the f8 square when he takes my queen. So bishop e5, bishop f8. I can't see a good move there. Okay, so now I'm going to move to the second move, which I'm sure is the correct move, g6. Calculation is now key, so g6. Now, if he doesn't take on g6, I will simply go pawn takes knight, checkmate. So if he does take on g6, I can see it's checkmate in 2 moves. And again, I'm going to go to the top of the candidate list, look for forcing moves, because I've taken away the cover of his king. Queen takes g6 check. He has to play king f8. And then my bishop can come to h6, trapping his king. So before I'm going to play it, I'm just going to double check my calculations as you would in a game, make sure I haven't missed anything. So g6, he can't move his knight because I'd take on h8 with checkmate. And it looks pretty simple. So g6 must be the solution. He takes here, and now again, we look for the most forcing moves. We don't need to bring in any more reinforcements like rook g1, because if you don't need to bring in reinforcements, look for the crash bang wallet, the immediate moves, your pieces which are immediately attacking. And my queen is going to take on g6, and of course, king here, bishop there is checkmate. So we're going up slowly because I'm doing these puzzles quite slowly. Next one. Okay, so king here. I'm attacking with 2 rooks and a queen, so I can now see the checkmate immediately. It just jumps out at me. Rook d6 check, king c7, rook e6 check, king takes rook, queen e6 checkmate. Now, why did I see this one so quickly? It's patterns. If you want to get better at chess, the more puzzles you do, the quicker you'll spot patterns and the quicker you'll be able to calculate. Now, I'm not going to look at any other lines, because if I can see a forced checkmate, why the hell look for anything else? It's good enough for me. So let's go through that again. Again, I'm looking for the most forcing moves. A check is the most forcing move. So the most obvious check for me here was rook d6 check. And then my queen, why is that the most obvious? Because my queen then covers d7 and c8. So he has to play king c7. And after king c7, I keep looking for the most forcing moves. And I don't want his king to run away to b7, so I look for rook e7 check. He only has one move, king takes rook, and then my queen comes in checkmate. Let me show you. Rook here, check. He can't block the knight, it'll be checkmate. I'm looking for the most forcing moves, I'm looking for another check. And he's not even going to play one more move. The computer should have done this. King takes rook, and then queen into e6. So move on to the next one. Okay. Bishop to b5. Right. Now, immediately I know the theme here. This is a double bishop sacrifice. It was a famous game. It was Alaska who played a similar idea in the Birds. So again, experience, knowing patterns can tell me the candidate move to play here. So what is the candidate move? The candidate move is certainly bishop takes h2. That is a capture and a check. I've got a lot of pieces near his king. So if he goes king to h1, I go queen h4. And then I have the threat of moving my bishop and going queen h2 checkmate. So the line I've got to calculate is king takes bishop. Then I've got to bring in my major pieces. So queen h4 check, king to g1. Now, the way Lasker played this was by going bishop takes g2. But I think I can force checkmate in that position by going queen g4. I don't need to give up the second piece, because this threat of queen takes g2, checkmate. Try to follow me. Come on, ladies. Try to follow me. Keep up with the program. Keep up with the program. No, it's hard, obviously, and I'm, sometimes it's hard to keep up with anything in life. But yeah, well, I'm just trying to go through. So that we've got bishop takes, king takes, queen check, king g1, queen g4, threatening checkmate. If g3, queen h3, a typical pattern. So I'm looking for the most forcing moves. Bang, this is correct. I come in with another check. Bang. Now, the way Lasker played this was with some idea of bishop takes g2, a queen check, and then swinging a rook around. But here, this is easier, because again, I'm threatening checkmate. I'm threatening queen takes g2, and if g3, my queen goes to h3 and sneaks its way in. Okay, let's do 2 more, shall we? Should we do 2 more? Let's do 2 more. So we're going to do 2 more, and okay, okie dokie. This looks a bit more spicy. And what the hell is this position? This is not a real position. Now, I've got a couple of ideas here. I've got an idea of bishop takes knight, rook takes a knight f7 check. This is a really weird position, and he's and so. But the thing is, if I'm a bit slow here, my opponent has lots of checks like queen check here. I don't really want to allow him to start checking me. So let's look for more forcing moves. So the first move I'm thinking of, it might be rubbish, but I'm going to not confuse my thought process. My first move I'm thinking of, oh, this is nice. I think I've solved it now. And it's only a draw, but a draw because we're a queen down is a damn good result. So I've solved it because, okay, I'm doing the first move that springs to mind. And the logical thing, why did I think of this move first? Because I was looking at slower moves which weren't to check. So I was looking at forcing-ish moves like taking the knight. But then I noticed he can check me here. He can check me here. And if he starts checking me, I'm probably going to lose this one. I'm not going to get any blow-ins. So the most forcing move is rook takes bishop check, because he has to take it with his king. Now, I've noticed in that position, there's a problem in a lot of structures if I can force his king to g5. So then I'm going for the most forcing move again, g5 check. Why didn't I look for knight checks? Because knight f5 check seems to help his king move somewhere else. So rook takes bishop, king takes, g5 check, forking his queen and king. Now, he has to either take with his queen or he has to take with his king. Now, if he takes with his king, I've seen that I can go bishop takes knight, and that stops his queen checking me anywhere because his queen is pinned to the king. And if queen takes bishop, I have knight f7 check, forking and winning the queen with a draw. So I can eliminate that from my calculations. So then I have to go rook takes bishop check, king takes, g5 check, and I have to therefore see that he has to go queen takes g5. But I've noticed in that position that I might not necessarily have a good move there. Or do I? I do. I have knight f7 check and bishop f4. Beautiful puzzle, this one. I'm going for a draw. So let me run through that one more time. So rook takes bishop check. He has to go king takes, g5 check. I'm just looking at forcing moves. I'm not looking at other stuff because that will confuse my mind. After g5 check, he clearly has to take the pawn. If he doesn't, I win the queen. If he takes with the king, I go bishop takes knight because it's a forcing move and it pins his queen to the king. If he goes queen takes, I have knight f7 check. Now, why didn't I go rook takes bishop, king takes, bishop takes knight straight away? Because he can check me with his queen. His queen is not pinned. Now, let's go back. Rook takes bishop, king takes, g5 check. What if queen takes g5? That looks like a very tough position. Now we swap the order around because his queen is in line with his king. So I can go knight f7 check, knight takes bishop f4, pinning those guys. Now, before I play this idea, I'm just going to spend another 10 seconds seeing, because that's only a draw, seeing if there's any potential I can win this position. I don't think so. I mean, his king is quite safe. It has a lot of squares it can move to. It must be the solution. I'm a queen down. So let's go it. So rook takes here, check. G5 check. And now this was the most trickiest move. I don't have time here to play bishop takes knight because it's not the most forcing move. If I do play bishop takes knight, he can go queen check. He's probably winning. So I've got to look for checks again. There's one check which is the most forcing check. It's this one because this one was forking his king and queen. And now I've got bishop f4 and I gain a draw. So which is, of course, the correct solution. Okay, we'll do one more puzzle. And then I think we'll call it a day, shall we? Okay, so rook g3 check. Is this really the puzzle? What the hell? What kind of naff puzzle is this? I mean, check. Where do I move my king? There's only four options: king back, king forwards. You know, you can see the four options. They're pretty obvious. So why is this even a puzzle? Okay, so. Let me just have a look. Well, I'm thinking king g2, so my king can... Because then he goes rook takes here, check, and I go rook takes there and take there. So I'm thinking king g2. I'm not looking at anything else. King g2. Because then if he moves his pawn, I can go bishop takes e4 check, and I can take everything off with check, and my king can take his rook. So king g2 must be the move. If his rook moves, I take here. It's very simple. I just go king g2. He goes d5, and why did I put my king near his rook? Because when I take on e4, he will take back. I go rook takes e4, and my king can take his rook. Okay, I'm going to do one more without talking now, just to see how quickly I can do the next one. This looks like an easy one. He's gone king, well, knight here, just like talks to me. Bang, knight there. I mean, I'm not even check here. What kind of puzzle was this? Here, see, now queen a5 probably. That looks like a good move. Castles, thank you very much. There we go. Okay, you see, I can get the points much quicker, obviously, when you just see them, and I'm not talking about my thought process, but of course that's not much good for you. Okay, here, queen d5 looks very natural to come in here, but I've also got here, I've also got g5. G5 looks like a good move, takes, because I've got queen here, but he's got queen check here. This one's a bit trickier, so maybe it's queen d1 here to try to get in. Queen d1 must be the right move. Did I get that right? And now just take here, and my queen gets through. Very simple. Okay, we'll leave that there today, guys. I hope that helped you a little bit. I was just talking through my thought process, explaining to you the way I solve puzzles in positions. Now, in the last video I explained when you should be looking for these positions. You can kind of, as you get better at chess, you can smell it like a French chef. I keep doing some kind of weird French stuff. Don't ask me why. You can smell with your nose when the timing is right. But anyway, it takes everyone practice. The more you do it, the better you will get. It's as simple as that. Everyone can improve at chess, and you just have to learn in the right way. And I'm just telling you there, throwing these things at you to try and get you to think along the same lines as me. If you want me to change these videos in any way, please leave a message below. I do listen. I don't always have time to respond, but I do listen. Okay, well, thank you very much for viewing that. Of course, if you subscribe, that'd be a major bonus. I've got something quite special coming up. If I get to 10,000 subscribers, that's my aim. I'm going to play you guys. I've got this thing. I've got a new piece of software that's been specifically given to me from a company, and I'm going to play everyone on a stream. So I'll do a Twitch stream, and I'll be playing against everyone in the chat where you can vote for your move. If you guys beat me, get close to beat me, I will have major giveaways. I'll be playing you individually. I've got loads of stuff planned for when I get to 10,000 subscribers. So a little bit of work to do there, but as soon as I get to that mark, it should be some, I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun and games. And I'm going to get myself a drink while I do this Twitch thing, and you should as well. So it's going to be a party. It's going to be a GingerGM party. And we might have friends even over. Do I have any friends? Well, occasionally we can get some friends over. So let's try to get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm still quite a long way off there, but, you know, hopefully we'll get there eventually. Cheers for viewing. Until next time, see ya!